So now that we've talked about incentives in your life with like homework and doing chores at home, let's talk about economic incentives. So we know that economic means involving the economy and talking about money and businesses, things like that. So economic incentives are offered to encourage people to make certain choices or behave in a certain way. They usually involve money, but they can also involve goods and services. So there's two types. There's a positive economic incentive. So positive, and then we'll talk about the other one later. Positive economic incentives leave you better off if you do what was asked of you. These incentives benefit you in some way. They reward you with money or some sort of financial gain, such as a better price, a free item, or an upgraded item. Coupons, sales, freebies, discounts, and rewards can be positive economic incentives. They're called positive because they're associated with things many people would like to get. So now the other economic incentive is a negative incentive. So just like we talked about negative incentives in your life, like you don't want to get in trouble with your parents, so that's why you act good at school. That can be in the economy too. Negative incentives leave you worse off financially by making you pay money. These incentives cost you money, like fines, fees, and tickets can be negative economic incentives. They're called negative because they're things you don't want to get. So you can think of like if you are driving over the speed limit and you get pulled over, you'll get a ticket. So the incentive is to go the speed limit because you are thinking, I don't want to get a ticket and have to pay money, which you probably are not familiar with, but maybe your parents are. So think about it. Economic incentives use money to encourage you, persuade you, convince you, bribe you, punish you, reward you, penalize you, and influence you. You will only get the economic incentive if you make the required choice or behave in the way that you're asked. You might be influenced by the incentive, but you still must make a choice. So, who offers economic incentives and why? Businesses often use economic incentives to encourage people to come and do business with them. Offering incentives is one way to get customers to choose to come and spend money at a business. So think about it. Before I read some of these examples here, like if you are driving and you see a McDonald's with a huge play place, I know that when I was younger, this is what I would say to my parents, oh, let's stop and go here because we want to go to this play place. Well, okay, if you go to the play place, you have to spend money on some food. So that's an incentive. The incentive is, hey, if you come and eat at our restaurant, you can play on this really cool play place. So here's some other examples. Restaurants use coupons, buy one, get one free deals, kids eat free night, or other incentives to encourage people to choose their restaurant. So it's a competition. They want you to come eat there. So they might offer special deals. Stores offer coupons, sales, discounts, buy one, get one free, and other incentives to get customers to choose their store. So a lot of people have Black Friday sales that will get you to want to go and buy some of their items. And airlines, like airplanes, give frequent flyer miles as incentives for people to choose to fly with them. So if you choose you fly with the same company over and over again, they will reward you for that. Now, government agencies also use economic incentives, but they usually do it to encourage certain behaviors in people. Offering incentives is one way the government tries to get people to behave responsibly. So, for example, public libraries use library fines to discourage people from keeping the books too long. So if you don't turn in your book on time, you have to pay money. Because imagine if everybody just had however amount of time they wanted with a book, that wouldn't be fair. Because what if somebody else wants to use that book and somebody's kind of hogging the book for the whole time? That wouldn't be fair. Park rangers and park police officers use littering fines as a way to keep people from littering. Fines help people choose not to litter, and this keeps the park clean. So when you're thinking about, I want to throw this wrapper on the ground, but then you think about, it's going to cost me $1,000 if I get a fine. Yeah, I'm rather going to throw this in the garbage. I'll walk the extra 100 feet to throw this away. And so that actually does help a lot. And then police officers use speeding tickets and parking tickets as incentives to keep people safe. Speeding tickets discourage people from choosing to speed and encourage them to drive safely. Parking tickets help keep parking spaces open for the handicapped and fire hydrants clear of unwanted cars. Parking tickets encourage people to choose only legal parking spaces. And finally, police officers give out tickets if babies are not riding in car seats or people are not wearing their seatbelts. These negative incentives discourage people from choosing unsafe behaviors. So, as we talked about before, incentives are those things that are convincing you to make a choice. So you're either making a positive choice or a negative choice. And if you make a negative choice, then there can be some, consequences there. And imagine if there weren't those things like tickets or, the government who, like, choosing to fine you if you do something that's against the law. People might not want to follow the law because they think, oh, I'm not going to get in trouble if I break the law. So incentives can be in your life, and then they can also, like, in with your school and your siblings, or they can be in the economy. So restaurants encouraging you to come to eat there, or like government agencies using incentives to get you to follow the law.